Good afternoon, Ian Satterfield, planning ops trainee. I'm going to go over kind of what occurred today and what the plan is for tomorrow. We'll start in Oscar. Again, a lot of good work got done in there. Everything held. They've had no issues in there. They'll continue to patrol, mop, and get more and more depth into their mopping operation. Moving around into Papa. The plan tomorrow is we're going to be moving a couple of shot crews around. They're going to start on this westerly edge and go direct on that, bringing it up to the top of the escarpment. Today, the only thing that there was in there is a couple of different little smokes in there that were sitting right along the retardant line, but the retardant line was still holding it in place. Again, they'll evaluate this little pillow in the middle and determine whether or not it's worth even putting some folks up here to go around and see if there's any heat or smokes up in there, but they'll evaluate that and come up with a plan. And then on this side, it's already touched into the Beckworth fire. Moving around into QQ off of Dixie Mountain, the crews were up there holding the hand line. They've had no issues today, as well as you come around the dozer line down into the bottom. Crews continue to improve and hold the direct line that goes over from the 01 and the Dixie Valley over to the 117, as well as they were continuing to improve that contingency line that goes down through the Horton Valley area and ties back into the 117. The structure protection folks, again, we're in here mopping up around the structures as well as improving the roads in here. And the other contingency folks were continuing to work on the dozer line that would connect the Beckworth-Horton or the Beckworth-Milford Road back over to the Sugar Fire, as well as down through Dada Canyon and then tying it back over into the Sugar Fire as well. So having two different contingency lines in play. Again, we had the masticators working their way down the Beckworth-Milford Road, continuing to gain depth in there. Still a few more days worth of work in there. Structure group was also embedded in here in the Grizzly Heights area, continuing to do prep work in there. Lots of chipping going on in there. As you work up here in Turner Ridge, no issues. Crews were mopping up. Working over into Romeo. Again, crews all day today were mopping and getting depth. Last I heard, they were about 150 feet mopped up in this whole Romeo section. So things are looking really good. They're going to gain more depth tomorrow in there as well. Working into Division UU, lines are in place if contingency-wise if we need it. We sent Beckworth hot shots up there this morning with Elk Mountain crew, and they are starting to look at what they can do direct in there. So tomorrow is going to be a big look in there and see what they can do in there and going from Indian Valley up to Grizzly Ridge. So really steep country, but they're going to take a look at it and see what they can do in there. Working into Genesee Valley, again, the crews are mopping up around those structures. Tomorrow or the next day, it looks like that whole Genesee Valley will have the black line in there and it'll be controlled, or contained, not controlled, contained. Working up into November, again, just in patrol status and fielding any calls from the community, as well as over here in the Dyer Mountain. This Mountain Meadows area did have a smoke in it today that actually went 5 acres, and we assisted the west folks to control that piece up in there. Again, it's just a really tough area to try and extinguish up there. But between the west and us, we'll keep an eye on that and keep it in check. The nice thing is we have this big dry lake bed where, for nothing to go, and we're talking about light grass that's not really spotty. Working down into WWXX again, in patrol status, and no issues in there today. Again, we'll have folks out there doing the same thing tomorrow. And that is end of report. Thank you.
Go to safety.